Now, fellow Kenyans, thank you very much for your greatest support and your consistency, your unending love, your unending support every now and then. Thank you guys. God bless you. Asanteni sana. As normally say that feedback is normally the key thing in any form of communication. I have to appreciate you guys for what you're doing. It's so wonderful. It's amazing. That is why I have to appreciate you. Now, in this video, I won't talk much, but I want to discuss three things because there are three key people here in this video that I would like you to listen to. But before listening to them, let me just say something. We have got Prof. Ogola here, who is also eyeing to vie for the presidency in 2027. We have got Sabina Chege here, and we have got Senator Nyuta. I will start with Prof. Ogola. Prof. Ogola is trying to explain something. He's a good friend of mine. I'm just working on 1, 2, 3 things. Then I'll find a way of maybe how we can do an interview with him so that he can tell us more about his interest of becoming the president and what he can do and what he thinks he can do more than William Ruto or any other person or any other president. But then before that on aside, before that, there is something that he's trying to explain here. Fred Ogola is among the people that are in United Alliance. Like this opposition. But then he's saying, majority of people are saying that Rigathi Gachagua cannot vie for the presidency, but constitutionally, Rigathi Gachagua can vie for the presidency. According to the Constitution of Kenya, it allows Rigathi Gachagua to vie for the presidency. Leave alone these documents, blah blah blah, the court, the recommendations on the papers and all that. But then, you know why Rigathi Gachagua is really working so hard, every moment, and that is why he mentioned in Githurai that he is also interested and is the best candidate. Because take a look at people like Kalonzo Musyoka. What are they really doing? People like Fred Matiang'i, what are they really doing to show that they are interested in this position, that they really want to become the president, they want to become presidents? Is there anything constructive that they are doing that is showing that they are interested, they want this thing? They're not doing anything to show. So that is why I think Rigathi Gachagua decided, okay, let me do this. Nothing can come on a silver platter. You have to work for it. So he's just sending a signal to people like Kalonzo that boss, tokeni hapa nje nyinyi pia mtafute kura. Because there is no need of you being given a baton to finish the race and then unaimaliza vibaya. It is so much embarrassing. And if things goes on like this, if they don't strategize themselves very well, they'll end up losing this battle to William Ruto without knowing.
Is impeached. If someone is impeached, they cannot vie for the position. But then there is also the issue of have they exhausted their appeals? That's the question. And I think because we're in this country, what we should be asking ourselves is, does he qualify? Apart from the impeachment, does he qualify? Big question, I think as Kenyans we should be asking is that why do we vote for individuals to become our president? And what do we look for in a candidate or an individual to become our own president? Because unfortunately what I've seen is that we, the politicians, want to confuse our own people. And I want to start maybe from the 2017, I go to 2022, where we follow a candidate. Myself as Sabina, I know by then in 2017 or 2012 when I vied and I was on the side of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, it was almost obvious that I'm going to be elected. But the Murang'a people, did they ask, so then if we elect Sabina as our women rep, what are the expectations? And that is why we have seen after the year 2022, unfortunately, there are many people who hanged on the court of William Samoei Ruto because by then he was the most popular candidate. And so they went and told people, you have to elect me because I'm supporting William Samoei Ruto. But immediately after they came into parliament, they abandoned him. And now they are holding on to other people's or other individuals' courts saying, you elect me because I am a supporter of so-and-so. I think at some point, and where we have reached as a country, we need to mature up as voters and start asking the hard questions. So why should I elect you as my own senator? I should not elect you as my own women rep or my own MP because you are following so-and-so as an individual. Come in, and I think we need also to start, people to be accountable. We start asking the hard questions. I have elected you as my member of parliament for this is the third year. As we are looking at the performance of the national government for the last 3 years, can we start from the grassroots? Because as the voters, when we are doing the election, we have 6 candidates. So from the MCAs, what did you promise? What have you done? And don't come to tell me I've not done because of so and so. Because when you are voting for me, I didn't tell you because I'll work, or I'm pegging my performance with so and so or an individual. That is why, as members of parliament, we cannot have an excuse and come and say William Ruto has failed us. We have the mandate.
Even the side that you speak for, Fwamba, you appear very...
For inside, I speak for the truth only.
Fine, I speak for the truth.
Yes.
You appear a bit uncomfortable with Rigathi Gachagwa's candidature. Why is that? Is it because he's a formidable contender? Or why do you feel that he should not run for president?
Not really. There are those ones, it's not supposed to be my opinion or my position. The law has already said that he cannot run. According to the status quo, as things stand today, he's not qualified to run as per the operational law that I stated. The Wambora case is very different from Gachagwa's because for him, he was reinstated by the court. And then again, in between, there must have been an injunction, something that Gachagua failed to get. So Gachagua did not get the injunction to keep him in office. That's one thing. Then we cannot predict the outcome of the courts, that they will allow him to continue being politically relevant or not. What I'm seeing here is a circus, actually a melodramatic script written by Cleophas Malala continuing to play. Because Gachagua knows very well that the best thing that happens to him is when he's enjoying this kind of airtime. And he has actually achieved it now that we are discussing him. All that he's doing right now is just to remain in the news, to be relevant, eventually have a few candidates running on his kiosk of a party. And I think from there, he also wants to have a say. Remember, he has kept on saying that he wants to be like Raila. So he thinks through that he can bargain, maybe in the future, negotiate around and get back to be relevant in politics by having a few members of parliament under his party so that they can influence one or two things for him. But as far as things or the situation stands today, he is only trying to push this kind of narrative to hoodwink people to start to continue considering him as a leader.
All right.
But politically, he does
Prof,
not qualify to run for any office.
Yes.
That if you look at it from political strategic point of view, I'm one of the members of the United Opposition, though you don't see me running around with them, but I am there because the People's Restorative Justice Commission is actually under United Opposition. And whether you want to say it's constitutional or not, we are doing work which people who have constitutional mandate are not doing, because history is full with books of commissioners, panels set up that are doing nothing. So we are doing what needs to be done. The only thing we are doing, we cannot use state funds to do what we need to do. We have mobilized our own funds to do what Kenyans need to do, and what matters is that the job gets done. So in United Opposition, when you see Gachagua going to the US, they were trying to look at everybody, how they're behaving. That's why you saw in this cartoon, everyone says the ground says I'm the one, ground says I'm the one. So the question is, should you run because the ground says you are running? And who is the ground? How do you measure this ground? And I think that my first point is that I think the United Opposition that I belong to have not quantified the risk of Ruto becoming again a president in 2027. And maybe that's what Gachagua must have been triggered with by saying, hey, I'm looking at my fellow players and I can't see who is fit really. And should I also just throw my hat in the ring to tell them, hey, don't think it is given? Because if I tell you I'm going to make you a king, you can go to bed and sleep, isn't it? And said, well, Gachagua is going to work for me. Like, for example, when Gachagua said I can make you a king and he has 7 million votes, and you think that he has been castrated, he cannot run, then say, by the way, let me remind you that the Constitution that actually stopped me. And Fred, if you read the Constitution faithfully, there are different what we call constitutional and legal. Constitutionally, there's nothing stopping Gachagua from running. But legal provisions might be the barriers to it. I remember, Constitution are what has been done in 2010, but legal are things trying to interpret the Constitution, and sometimes the Constitution can overrule. Let me take you the case of Sakaja in Nairobi. To run for governor, those things saying degree and the rest actually are not in the Constitution.
That's true.
So the legal provisions could stop him, but the Constitution doesn't stop him. Okay. So what happens is that the jurisprudence of the court that will sit might say the Constitution sits at the apex of legal provisions, and therefore he can run.
Okay.
Because there's something in the Constitution which is there. Until you exhaust all your legal mechanisms, and I've actually read it again, it's not a finality. Impeachment is not like a death, because he still have rights. So he still has a right of life. He can still exercise this one the way he wants. But for me, the most painful thing is that if we can quantify this problem, because I've heard people just saying, like I hear, for example, if I quote one of the leaders of the United Opposition, Kalonzo Musyoka, he has been making a certain statement very consistently, that one term, isn't it? He says one term is an eventuality. One term will happen, isn't it? No, it won't happen. It must be made to happen.
Okay.
And they are shouting and saying, Gen Zs can't vote for this guy. No, you can't leave it to Gen Zs. But you have to front yourself and say, bring your policies, come forward and demonstrate your electability. That's why Gachagua in Githurai said, I am fit to run, so that those people don't go to bed saying, you'll make me president.
All right,
because
thank you,
this is one of the things that could be derailing some people by thinking, he can't run, so I'll just gain from Mount Kenya vote because Gachagua can't run.
All
yes,
right.
he can run.
Thank you.
Fellow Kenyans, I'm not against Senator Nyuta, and I'm not against anybody that is supporting Rigathi Gachagua. But one thing I can say, or I want to say, is that these people are doing, I don't know why they're behaving like this. Like somebody like Senator Nyuta is just speaking. It is not bad to support Rigathi Gachagua, but now you are like, he's like a heckler. Senator Nyuta right now is like a noise maker, just like a heckler, making noise every now and then. Doesn't want to listen to other people, but he wants people to listen to him.
Well, I think I would want to tell my brother Fwaba. Every time Gachagua is mentioned, he's laughing sarcastically. I want to tell him that he should have some respect for people and not be dismissive and contemptuous of people. Probably this is the first time people have heard about him. Gachagua is talked about every day. You cannot dismiss him by such a sarcastic laughter. He said that Gachagua is just trying to get a few seats. Does he understand what a few means? Gachagua is not going to get a few seats. He is going to get very many seats. And so it's important that people respect others. I heard him say that Ruto has brought change. Yes, he has brought change. Reduced capitation from 22,000 to 16,000 and now 15,000. That for Fwaba and the particular side he supports is a very big change. That we are having billions being stolen from SHA. That's a very big thing that is being done. That we have had young people being, arrested and killed for Fwaba. That is big things. And the one very annoying thing is to say that Fwaba, you need to learn good. You need to learn good manners.
Just allow him to make his
Fwaba,
Senator.
You need to learn good manners.
Our time is
Then one thing that he said that is very, very sad and must not go unchallenged is to say that there are some people who have some shareholding mentality.
Okay.
Nobody has prevented President Ruto from carrying out a project anywhere.
Okay.
And when people point out at bad things that President Ruto is doing, somebody cannot say that those people have a shareholding mentality.
Thank you, Senator.
So, let's debate issues when we come here. Okay. And it's important, Fred, and you know that when you invite people here, tell them that they are supposed to wait for the others to finish their submissions before they interject.
Thank you, sir.
We have to have good debate, man. Just to conclude on the matter of whether Rigathi Gachagua is eligible to run for presidency with impeachment hanging on his neck or not, I think the best case we can refer to is a case of Wambora, who was actually impeached in his first term. Mm-hmm. It is not the Senate that lifted his impeachment. It was a court of law. Mm-hmm. And all the way, he was even able to run for a second term. So the issue of impeachment, we have a precedent in the case of Wambora. And so anybody trying to convince you that there are legal provisions that would prevent Rigathi Gachagua from running for presidency is economical with the truth, and especially the provisions of the law. And I hear lawyers talk about case law. So the case of Wambora would be a good reference point to determine this matter, or to come up with a view on this particular matter. But then why everybody is fixated with the presidency is because that is where, national resources seem to revolve around. And if you listen to the people of Nyanza, for example, they will tell you, and they are saying it every day, that since they got into broad-based project this has come, project that has come, this has come. Why? Because they are in an arrangement with the president. And so it behooves upon all of us then to ask ourselves, what type of a president should we elect? What processes are there to enable every other part of this country to benefit from the national cake, whether or not they are supporting the president? And so you cannot reduce the matter of the presidential elections, the upcoming presidential elections, to what have you done, you who is talking about this particular matter. Talk about the case of a senator, for example. The senator carries out 3 functions strictly. And you have heard Honorable Sabina did not mention about any kitty that the senator operates. It is oversight, legislation, and representation. But I think it's important that we make our leader, we also educate our viewers on especially the kind of oversight of county funds. Because there has been a fallacy and, misleading statements that the senator is supposed to oversight, but a senator of any county, and I challenge my sister Sabina to refute this. The senator of any county can only do secondary oversight. The senator has no power under the Constitution to prevent a particular project from happening in their county, or to approve or disapprove any particular program or use of funds in the county. That is the role of MCAs, because the MCAs in any particular county assembly will have to approve of any particular government program, county government program. The county assembly will have to approve the budget that the county government presents to the county assembly for approval. So the senator does not play a role on that, and that has to be made very clear, because people who like fighting senators will tell you, this amount of money was spent in this particular manner, and the senator was still there. The senator has no power to prevent it from happening, but the senator can point out that this was not done appropriately, but he cannot prevent, because there is no consultation or expectation that the senator approves or disapproves, and I know I'm repeating that particular one. Now, you are told here by Honorable Sabina that you cannot just sit there and criticize, that you can make laws in either house, the National Assembly or the Senate, and it is true. But then, before any particular law is passed, of course, it has to go through a vote. And I can tell you, Fred, if it is something, it's a law that is not government friendly, it will not see the light of day. One, even a bill or a particular motion may not be approved by the Speaker if the Speaker is not friendly to you. And we know, especially the Speaker of the National Assembly, nobody doesn't know where he leans, which side he leans on. Number 2, nobody doesn't know that the numbers in either house are controlled by William Ruto, because especially when they came together with ODM.
I gave you an opportunity to respond to that, but I don't want us to digress and talk about the issues about Gachagua and his candidature as president.
And it's a circus.
Yes, because I don't want us to get confused.
If you are removed, for example, from a particular position and procedurally, then you can go to court and seek legal redress. So the matter of impeachment of the deputy president or of the governors that have been impeached in the past, for that matter, is subject to I would call it the court process. So until and unless you have exhausted all the appellate avenues that are there under our constitution, then you cannot be prevented, in my view, from vying for any particular office. Why? Because if, for example, you blocked somebody from vying for a particular seat simply because they were impeached, and then a court of law rules that you had been impeached or removed from office and procedurally, then an injustice will have been visited on you, or will have been served on you or to you. And so until and unless the Supreme Court rules that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua was removed procedurally and legally, he is actually qualified.
Should the converse also be true, that if at all he gets elected president and then the court rules after that that his impeachment was actually stands, that then therefore he should be removed from that office?
That would be a matter of constitutional interpretation. I think the courts would then rule that particular time. I think we are dealing with a matter now, and I think it is not precedented. I don't really think we have any precedents of somebody who was maybe elected to office and then later they were found to have been impeached legally and procedurally. I think that would be a first that every one of us would want to see. But the matter that we are discussing as of now is, are you barred from running for office simply because you have been removed from office or impeached while you have appealed against that in court and the matter has not been concluded by the courts?
All right.
And the highest court in the land is the Supreme Court.
Simply because he's defending Rigathi Gachagua, it is not bad to defend Rigathi Gachagua. But now, on what grounds? Can you listen to other people talk? Or you are the only person who wants to be heard? Which is so wrong, by the way. According to me, I think what I believe or what I know is that you need to give people room to listen. Like, you need to listen to people. Don't just throw words on other people, thinking that now you're the best, whatever people are saying doesn't matter. Such a shame. So one thing I have to say, or let me just say this, that people like Senator Nyuta should style up. They should understand that they cannot just throw away other people's ideas simply because they want people to absorb their own ideas without direction. There is an idea with direction and there's an idea without direction. Now, Senator Nyuta speaks on the perspective of an idea without direction. That is why he can't allow he can't listen to other people. He wants to be heard. Like, literally, this guy normally, I've watched him several times on Citizen TV, TV47, K24, I've heard him on Inoro. It's like, he thinks that he's the best debater. He thinks that he's a knowing it all man, which is not right. Sometimes it's good, however much maybe you can think, or maybe you think that you know something, it's good sometimes to give room for others to also at least also listen to what others are saying. Don't just think that you are the only person who can be heard. Don't just think that you're the best person. You see? So such kind of things, I think it's high time things like this change, and these leaders know that we're supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do this, this is what we're supposed to do. As after all, guys, that's just my thought, and that is all I have for now. Let me also know what to think in the comment section, but don't forget to drop me a comment, tell me what to think, and where you're watching this video from. Until we meet again, I have been your host, Boniface Ogola.